Peace, health and wellness on your house, vitality and longevity in your lives. I wanted to just quickly, speak to the more current events affecting all people, really. Um, really, that being that of the disposition of the United States of America. Now, a shutdown mode, a government shutdown. I've lived through so many in my life. I don't want to say every president, but because I've seen a lot of them, right, from Nixon forward. Um, but I mean, it's happened so frequently, and most commonly when it's happened in life. What was the biggest impact? There was no staffing at your state parks and such, right? It never really had a very big impact. The government shutdown, you know. Um, but in this case, it's a little interesting. Something interesting has happened. Um, I've always been a fan of the idea that the people in America should know what benefit they gain from being in America. And the majority do not know. You've got a lot of people that stand here in America and whine and complain about the scenarios, but they don't know what they're actually getting from this country, right? Which, again, necessarily leads to an inherent disrespect of that. If you don't know what you're getting, how are you complaining, right? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up, right? Um, and so today, it's become clear, hasn't it? HUD, that's federal financial assistance. Those are federal dollars. So everybody that lives in subsidized housing, your rent is in jeopardy February 1st, right? Real feel. That's where the rubber meets the road, right? That's on the street. You feel that, okay? SNAP benefits, right? Your EBT benefits, right? The federally sponsored health care manifestation that's not yet been spoken of, but it's coming. So those things that are currently in jeopardy are those things that made people slaves. Hear me out. When somebody provides for you your food, clothing, shelter, water, health care, and security, if ever they fail to provide or can't provide those things to you, there's a clock ticking as it relates to how long you can survive, right? What that means is you can't survive without whoever is providing that to you. This is a precarious scenario for us to live in. What happens if there's a rainstorm or a snowstorm, right? And your government can't provide services to you? How long can you make it? How long can you exist? How long can you survive? Day one of an event, right? All of the jobs let everybody out of work. Highways get clogged up. People's tempers are flaring. They're sitting in their cars for 6 hours trying to get home. They can see their houses. This happened in Boston. They could see their houses from the highway, and they actually ran out of gas sitting in traffic trying to get home, right? People's tempers flare, people fight, all that goes down. Okay, that's day one. Then those people that are not on the highway, guess what happens? They go to their stores. They go to their Market Basket and their Piggly Wigglies, and they go to their stores and they run them shelves. Nothing's left, right? By midnight that day, by midnight of a single event, everything in the stores will be gone, right? The stores only have 2 to 3 days supply, okay? So everything in the shelves is gone. That's one day. Day two, you got a million neighbors. Everybody needs the same thing as you, right? Can't flush the toilets, right? Ain't no gas at the pump, right? Ain't no water in the store, ain't no food. It starts to get hectic. 7 days later, those people that have urgent medical needs, oxygen tanks, diabetics, those who are compromised, guess what happens? They begin to fade. Day 15, those people that had urgent medical needs are gone. Now you've got problem as it relates to sanitation and waste disposal, right? Disease is being generated, and there's no real way to get away from it. You either got to move and not have something, or you got to find a way of disposing of waste, right? That's 15 days. 15 days into an event where a government is not able to save you. 15 days. And the average so-called American has been so diminished that they've never thought of this. They've never considered the fact that they are slaves, absent the government's ability to serve you and do the things that it does for you. You have no capacity to keep your loved ones alive. The people that look to you as the ultimate solution, as the ultimate guide to right and wrong and the direction and focus of the future, the people that look to you for that level of guidance are mistaken if you are counting on a system always being there. We are dependent, all of us. I don't care what color you are. If the words that I say here are true, then they will apply to everyone uniformly. If they're not true, then they won't apply. You'll be able to find one circumstance where you can say, you know what, that's not true. And if that's the case, then the things that I'm saying are not true. But the fact is, very few of us work a job that could keep us alive, that could keep us solvent into the future. Very few of us. What that means is we've all been reduced to a condition of slavery. You go and do a job every day, sure and true. Yep, you do a job every day to earn your money. Well, the money is the intermediary. There was a time where a unit of work was directly connected to your solvency, your ability to survive into tomorrow. That unit of work was directly connected to your solvency into the future. Today, an intermediary exists in between your unit of work and your ability to survive. So you need the intermediary in order to be able to produce those things for your solvency, right? Okay. But the intermediary has become so important that absent that intermediary, your connection and your ability to survive is completely disconnected. There is no longer a connection. So if the system fails, guess what happens? 90% of the population is incapable of producing food, of filtering water, of building a structure. Yeah, y'all got a beard, make a fire. Can you do that? Right? This is what this nation has reduced everyone to. Everyone. So while they're standing around saying it's your fault because you're black, it's your fault because you're white. It's your fault. It's his fault. It's their fault. If we didn't buy so many weaves, right? If the litany of absolutely asinine rabbit trails that the people cling to is almost astounding. It's almost astounding. How do you not know? Let me explain something to you. You have the youngest nation on the planet Earth, and it came into being through complete atrocity. For 450 years, it embraced atrocious behavior. You get sensitive, it hurts your feelings. That doesn't matter. It's still the fact. Atrocious behavior was cultivated, fostered, and passed down. Today, you think that is somehow a firm enough foundation for you to fall back on? You think that is going to provide or produce a healthy future? We are tied to the success or failure of a system that must fail. Think that through. You're tied to the success or failure of a system that must, mathematically, it's not scalable. It doesn't work. It must fail. That's, if this isn't, these days, if they're not wake-up calls for everyone. I mean, yo, in Germany, you think the things that I'm speaking to right now don't have their bearing there? You think the things that I'm talking to right now don't have their bearing in France? You think I'm talking about one person, huh? You think I'm talking about a race of people, huh? You think I'm talking about a county or a city or a state or a country? You think I'm talking about the small micro? No, no. What has happened is we've pushed maximum density, right? We've pushed the parameters in human history. Never is there any reference point, is there any point in history where you can find similar circumstances and similar depravity in humanity to this extent? Ever. Ever. Right? There is no reference point. We're creating history today. We are creating history as we go forward. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I am ever so confident. Why am I so confident? Why am I so excited? If these things that I'm telling you are true, why the hell am I smiling, right? Am I just insane? Well, that's possible. But the other thing is that I come from a very different stock. You understand? See, mine maintained honor. They maintained resilience. They maintained discipline. See, everybody else is walking around and they got this facade on, right? They got this great big American flag and a facade that says, hey, we're compassionate. We're resilient. We pulled together and pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps. And we did. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. Each and every one of these immigrant groups, let's get it. Let's cut it to the bone. Each and every one of them, Irish, Hungarian, Lithuanian, Italian, Jewish, Polish, Eastern European, German, Czechoslovakian, all of them came here poor, tired, huddled masses with nothing but the shirts on their backs. The reason that this nation could accommodate those people is because of the free and forced labor of my family, the innocent people, right? The innocent victims of human trafficking. My people built an economy that could accommodate their people. So when we have a conversation of what is owed, wait a second. My grandfather fought in the Revolutionary War for no benefit of his service. His son, John Addis, fought in the War of 1812 without the benefit of his service. My great-grandfather, Alexander Benders, and his son, Alex Benders II, both fought in the Civil War. My grandfathers, at age 24, fought in World War I, and at age 48, fought in World War II without the benefit of their service. So again, when we talk about these poor, tired, huddled masses that came here, poor, with nothing but the shirts on their back, who the fuck paid their passage? Who paid their passage? Who paid your way? Who fought the wars and bled and died for no benefit? Who made it possible that those people could come here and find an economy that could accommodate their punk asses? Who did that? Not them. Not them. Not their grandfathers, not their grandmothers, not them. We did. We did. Right? Okay. So that being said, Everybody walks around here with this facade on. Y'all are the compassionate, empathetic, united, strong, resilient. Pull yourselves up by the bootstrap. There's not one in your lineage that this is true for. Not one. And meanwhile, 100% of my lineage is that. We are the ones who showed resilience. We are the ones who brought the attributes of love, compassion, and these things to the forefront of your American society. We did. You embraced hatred for 450 years. Don't be a liar. Don't lie. Everybody can see it. You embraced hatred for the yellow man, for the red man, for the brown man, for the black man, for every single man. For the last 450 years, you practiced, embraced, and fostered hatred, apathy, disconnection, dejection. This is what you are. This is what you are. You want to extricate 450 years. And because you murdered Martin Luther King, you want a hat of morality that we forced on you, and you want to call it your. You want to say that's you, huh? Not the 450 years that precede. The 50 years since we forced it on you. That's what you want to call you. Yeah. So when we talk about a conversation of what is owed in the United States of America, 100% of your being is owed to those innocent humans who built it, period. And then they come, I know. And this video is going to be met with all kinds of criticism. Guess what? I'm going to answer your questions before you ask them. You're going to say, oh, well, Africans sold Africans. Well, let me tell you something about that argument. That argument is akin to, oh, he did it too. That's what it says. It says that because that person did it, that absolves me of what I did. But the thing that's lost in that argument is the innocent people who were sold, kidnapped, or what have you remain innocent. They remain innocent. They still did not deserve 450 years of horror. You moral giant, you. Nothing that can be said can absolve the treatment that the innocent people endured. And nothing that happened could cause them to go from innocent to guilty. They're here by human trafficking. Yeah? So the place that your nation exists in now, it sits in the waste hamper because of your inability to speak in verity, because of your inability to say true words. They die in your mouth. They die in your mouth. So because you can't say true words, your children are self-mutilating. They're cutters. Your children are incels. They're shooting up innocent people. Your children. It's not our children. It's not our children. It's your children. It's your children. Exploding. Right? Extreme. Apathetic. Disconnected. Dejected. Where could this possibly come from? Home Alone face, right? Where do these attributes come from? They come from the 450 years in which your families accepted that as normal. You embraced that. Your families fostered that. Your families cultivated that. What do they cultivate? Apathy, disconnection, hatred, dejection. What are the most common attributes in your society today? It's like 1 + 1 = 2, isn't it? It's just a math equation. You bought this like a paycheck. So now, again, I didn't really make this video to go deep, right? But I did kind of want to speak to where we are, right? And, on the one hand, I know that people are being affected. There are a lot of people that don't have no salaries. There are a lot of people that depended on this system for services. And that puts an awful lot of people at risk. And to them, I am sorry. I didn't, it's a very difficult place for me to be in, because at one hand, I didn't want that. But on another hand, I knew it had to be. I knew it had to be. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. And if you've been dependent upon this wicked master, well, this is your wake-up call. This is your wake-up call. Whoever controls your food, clothing, shelter, water, healthcare, and security is your master. You either thank your master and shut up and stop whining, or you build your way out. Period. There ain't no gray area to that. Either you thank your master and shut up, or you build your way out. Don't tell me you're banging on the beast. Don't tell me you're banging on the beast. If you're banging on the beast and you're standing inside of a house with a sledgehammer, taking down the load-bearing walls of a house that you and your family are living in, you're an idiot. If you're banging on the beast that you depend on to feed your family, you're an idiot. Right? What steps have you taken to replace the systems in place that keep you a slave? Again, my words are for my people. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. My words are for my people. Guess what? If they're true, they apply to everybody. Hector, you think that ain't true? Whoever controls your food, clothing, water, shelter, healthcare, and security, Hector, if they cut them off, what happens to your family? Tutu Tommy in Pennsylvania, in Virginia. Whoever controls your food, clothing, shelter, water, healthcare, and security, if they stop providing them, Tommy, what happens? How long does your family last? You're all slaves, and you don't know it. You haven't known it. You haven't known it. And again, I'm not here for you. My people, for mine, you know what I come to do. I saw what Queen Harriet Tubman was putting down. I saw that. I saw what the Honorable Marcus Garvey was putting down. I saw what they've been saying to us. I saw what they've been trying to get us to do. It's time for us to do it. We built a machine in such a way that their economies can collapse, and we will continue moving forward. While their economies are collapsing, you know what we'll do? We'll have breakfast. We'll sip carrot juice, and we will watch their economies fall. Everything that they call an advance in humanity will fail, and we will live and advance through the failure of their advances. Yes, we will. It's very simple. It's very simple. And again, I only wanted to create this to kind of address where we are. My hope is that the people do not thirst so badly for things to go back to where they were that they will accept anything that their master throws at them. See, it should go back to where it was. You should never go back to a place where somebody controls your food, clothing, shelter, water, healthcare, and security. If you do, then what you have done is you have chosen slavery. If you choose slavery, I don't hate you. I ain't mad at you. If you choose slavery, shut up. Stop whining. Stop talking about Flint, Michigan's water. If you ain't going to do anything to produce or filter or clean your own water, shut up. Because you're waiting for somebody else to do it for you. If you are not prepared to grow and produce your own food, shut the fuck up about GMO foods. You're not doing it for yourself. You're taking no active hand to control it for yourself, but you want to stand on the side while somebody else is providing it for you and whine about the way that they provide it for you? Are you fucking serious? Sorry. Excuse me. Are you serious? You will take no hand in securing or protecting your own family or community, but then you will have complaints about the way that somebody else protects and defends your family. Right? You take no active hand in these things, and yet complain about who is taking an active hand and the way that that hand works in your life. It's pretty simple to me. It's pretty simple to me, you know, and maybe that's me. Maybe that's how I think. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty simple to me. You do it for yourself. You do it for yourself, and then you ain't got to complain about how somebody else is doing it for you. Period. Right? I'm gonna let it go. I probably went further than I probably should have, but that's all right. Look, again, hopefully this is something that hits you, resonates, makes you think. Again, don't slide back to where we came from. We have to go forward. We have to go forward. Okay? You can't go backwards. You can't go backwards. So what is the intelligent forward trajectory? Find us. You know what it is. The Ledge Group. None of them have answers. They're scrambling like roaches, trying to figure out how they'll survive. Really, a lot of them are not even trying to figure out how they survive. They're trying to figure out how they're going to die. What we have to do is look at life after. Okay? Life after colonization. Life after this event. That's what we have to build. It's already done. Holla at your boy.